and welcome to the Chef AF Modern Kitchen Podcast. I'm here, your host, Chef Andrew Forlines with chefaf.com, your guide to the premium home kitchen appliance industry. I'm here to help you pick your kitchen appliances with confidence and with all the information you need to make the best decision, the best selection for you, your lifestyle, your home space. So my background is in fine dining, restaurant and hotels, and the molecular gastronomy movement. So I started many years ago, more years ago than I like to admit, but 2 decades. I started as a teenager going to the Broadmoor Hotel here in Colorado. It's a 5-star, 5-diamond hotel, and they had their own working apprenticeship program. So I got to work under internationally acclaimed chefs for 3 years to get a certificate of completion from the American Culinary Federation, just like getting a culinary degree at a culinary school. But I had all that practical work experience. I stayed and did a year of pastry under Chef Remy Foonfrock, who was in the Penrose Room, which is the highest rated restaurant in Colorado. So a lot of fine dining background, a lot of traditional cuisine, a lot of large scale banquet production. So I'm used to the industry of commercial appliances and how we use them in restaurants and banquets. I then went and spent some time in Chicago doing an exploration of molecular gastronomy. So I've always been really interested in the food science behind cooking and then also the appliance technology. So the last several years, I was doing in-home catering, a lot of private chef events. For the last several years, I've been specializing in the residential appliance, retail, showroom, and kitchen design industry. So here in Colorado, I work in showrooms, teaching people about what's available and how they can utilize it, teaching homeowners, home cooks, and kitchen designers, and training. I've trained with so many of these manufacturers. They take me to their headquarters and show me their appliances, how they use them, what their features and functions are, so that I can relay that information to you, the home chef, or to the kitchen designers, or even the retailers. I say, hey, here's what the product is. Here's something that has migrated from the restaurant industries. So let's listen in on today's episode, all about you and the start of your journey. The start of your journey in your home appliance selection process. You might be remodeling a kitchen, you might be building a new kitchen. There's so much more available now, technology-wise, with the home kitchen appliances than ever before. So much of it migrated from the fine dining restaurant industry that I came from. So much of it is from the molecular gastronomy movement of precision, control, food science-driven cooking, and now it's available in-home, which I think is very exciting, and I'm happy to help people sift through, decide which are best for you in that industry. I've been working in beautiful kitchen design showrooms, home appliance retail showrooms for years now, helping consumers, customers, home chefs decide which suit their needs best, what's available, and what goes into that choice. So part of that is for you as a home cook to self-identify on what, not just features and functions, but the style of cooking you want to do. You want to think about, are you a large family that has multiple people in the kitchen at the same time, so that you're going to need to have a lot of appliances that everyone can use? Are you, more concerned about convenience and speed over, say, that gourmet meal process? There's something for everybody in the industry. There's something for everybody to really engage with. And it's really identifying what your style and your lifestyle and cooking needs are, and then going from there. Now, a lot of people walk into these showrooms and feel really overwhelmed, and I totally understand. That feeling of being overwhelmed by all the available product, all the appliances, not knowing what to look for. There's just so much to go into that decision. So when people come in and they look at all the appliances, a lot of times they're going to think, I've got to look at every single one and eliminate yes or no, do I like this? But the truth of it is, think of the home kitchen appliance industry similar to buying a car. Except instead of being different dealerships for the different manufacturers, you have all the car companies under one roof. That's what an appliance retailer is. So yes, there's differences between the brands and the models of appliances, But when we think of a big scale, think about, what goes into deciding to buy a Ford or a GM or a Toyota, or a German car. We're going to think about that. There's a lot of redundancy because at the end of the day, these brands are competing for the same dollar from the same customer. So it's about self-identifying your needs and then matching them up with the proper brand of manufacturer of appliances and the styling and the interface and the aesthetic. We want to think about large appliances as, more of like purchasing an automobile that we're going to maintain for a long period of time, as opposed to, say, consumer electronics, where if something goes wrong with it, it's a small electronic. You can take it in and return it or replace it. And that's more apparent in the premium side of built-in appliances, the kitchen appliances. The premium are definitely more mid-century manufacturing style, where we're putting really great parts in there meant to last a long time. Your entry-level stuff is a little bit more commodity, and it's got more of a replace mindset than repair. So it's something to consider when you are selecting what bracket, good, better, best. You might want to reach above and purchase a little bit higher price, because you're able to service those for a longer period of time and actually get more lifespan out of them, as opposed to the commodity pieces, which the entry-level ranges may not last as long, and then they may not be serviceable in the way that a mid-grade or premium appliance could be. I think the question that people need to ask themselves is not, what brand is best, but what bracket do you want to spend to get into? Good, better, best. Your super premium is always going to have the best performing and the highest quality parts, but that comes at a big price. And I think that there's a lot of great value in our mid-range manufacturers, so that we're seeing a lot of the benefit of the premium brands, but without that price tag. So we're looking at Genair, Thermador, Monogram, Miele is a great one. So all these different price points have different manufacturers lined up with them that are going to suit your needs well. Go to a premium appliance retailer, the product specialist, the person, the sales staff who's going to help guide you through this process, their job really should be to help you identify and eliminate the things that wouldn't work well for you. And they do that by asking some questions. That's what the Chef AF on my website, chefaf.com, the home appliance buyer's guide download checklist is. You can go ahead on my website, check that out, download it, and it's going to help guide you through the self-identification of your lifestyle, your cooking style, the home space and home environment. That checklist is going to help you identify your style, preferences, your cooking style as well, so that you can go into an appliance retailer or a kitchen design firm with some understanding of what it is that you want to accomplish in there. I've been in the industry a long time, so I get to see all of it. I get to learn. All the manufacturers have taught me all their products and all their new things that come out, so that I can relay that to the consumer here in the showrooms and online now at chefaf.com through this podcast and through some videos. So when we talk about that, we talk about, your lifestyle, your home cooking style. Do you have a lot of people cooking in the kitchen at once? Or do you have fewer people cooking in the kitchen? Is there one person that does most of the cooking? Or are there several people that do the cooking but at different times because they're on their own schedule? That's going to impact whether or not you need a lot of different appliances, or can get away with fewer depending on the usage. Do you entertain a lot? Are you having a lot of dinner parties? Do you like to have people over for meals, or are you the solitary diners at home, right? So that's something to consider. Your shopping patterns. Do you do bulk shopping and need lots of freezer space, or do you do more often fresh grocery shopping so that you need more refrigeration space? So that's something to consider as well. When you come into the showroom, you're going to see different styles. You're going to see traditional, which is your more ornate, classic styling. You're going to have your modern, sleek, clean line styling. And then transitional is kind of in between. There's American-made appliances. There's German or European appliances, and there's Korean and Asian, Southeast Asian appliances. Those manufacturers are all going to have different styles in a little bit. We notice the Europeans their appliances trend to be smaller, more energy efficient because energy costs so much more in Europe. So we're seeing higher efficiency, smaller sizes. Funny wrinkle too is that in Europe, when people move, a lot of times they take all their home kitchen appliances with them. And that's kind of their style, their standard there. Whereas here we sell our home and the appliances usually stay with the home. So they are styled a little bit different in the European. They're more precision driven. They're more control and efficiency driven. American is a little more power driven. Think of high horsepower kind of styling. So you can rest assured, if you go to a premium appliance retailer, the product specialist, the sales staff who's going to help guide you through this process, their job really should be to help you identify and eliminate the things that wouldn't work well for you. And they do that by asking some questions. That's what the Chef AF on my website, chefaf.com, the home appliance buyer's guide download checklist is. You can go ahead on my website, check that out, download it, and it's gonna help guide you through the self-identification of your lifestyle, your cooking style, the home space and home environment. Later on, we're going to get into the specific technologies, so steam ovens, induction, sous vide cooking, internal probes, automated Wi-Fi connectivity. And then we'll also have an episode coming up that's the brand map. So what manufacturers excel at what areas, what demographics they're going after, and then you'll get to see that picture a little bit clearer. Well, that wraps up our first episode here at the Chef AF Modern Kitchen podcast. I'm your host, Chef Andrew Forlines. Please feel free to reach out at chefaf.com. I do private consultations, so you can sign up for a time that we can meet face-to-face or virtually and go over some of your questions on this process of picking the perfect home kitchen appliance package for you. Thanks so much for listening. We're going to have some more episodes coming up that are going to cover this journey all the way through the process to the completed kitchen with a happy home cook, experimenting and learning new cooking techniques and new appliance capacity. The features and functions are just so fantastic these days. So really excited to share this, really excited to be on the journey together. Thanks so much for listening, and I will see you next time on Chef AF's Modern Kitchen Podcast.